Anybody from my generation can really relate to these posters on the wall. Jane, Tim and Spot, Dick, see Spot run, see Tim run, see Dick run.
Gordon Lloyd is back in his old classroom at Stuart Wood, reflecting on his time at the elementary school in the 1940s.
In unison we would say, see Spot run, see Spot run. And then she would point to individual students and say, Gordon, and I would say, see Spot run.
It was a time when student learning was much different than today.
In the old days, where you memorized things and you regurgitated them back, it was considered that was the way you learned. And we were very good at memorizing poems and reciting poems, but when it came to reading, we frankly didn't often understand what we were reading, but we could recognize the words and regurgitate and recite them back.
Gordon, who's a former principal at the old Cam High, also remembers these old desks that they used.
There was a stage in my life I was a bit of a mischief. I learned how to flip that up with the foot so the person in front of me sitting down would miss the seat, and I, of course, would play all innocence.
Gordon is one of 14 relatives known to either have attended or taught at Stuart Wood.
This is my grandmother teaching at the Kamloops Public School in 1903.
His grandmother, Kate Furness, taught at the original school, also known as The School, starting in 1901. It was located where the field is now, before the current building was constructed and opened in 1907. She taught when The Stuart Wood was principal in the early 1900s. He was known to be a jokester.
Mr. Stuart Wood one morning evidently said to her, good morning, how is the furnace this morning? Making a pun on her name, Furness and Furnace. And her response was, the furnace is fine, but the wood is green, making a pun on his name.
The school was named after Stuart Wood in 1922 for the pioneer he was.
And this is where grade 6 was.
Now, some 70 years later, Gordon walks the hallways with his son, Blair Lloyd, who's now the principal at Stuart Wood in its final year.
Yeah, I feel really lucky to be part of this tradition that started back in 1901 with my great-grandmother teaching here. And it just seems right in a lot of ways that I get to be here when the school is closing and moving up to Beatty.
We heard that Blair was appointed principal here. Myself and all of my brothers were elated because it was pretty unique in the last year of his school to have Blair as a family rep being the principal, when this school has meant so much to our family over the years, right from my grandmother to my father, to 3 uncles on his side, to my mother, 3 siblings on her side.
And as the time ticks down on Stuart Wood Elementary, Blair is enjoying every minute of it.
This will be one of the highlights of my career for sure, being able to be at this school, even though it's only been a year, to be part of the tradition and the history of the school and the school district, and it being part of our family history. I feel really lucky to be part of it.